Hey. How's it going, everybody? We will be doing a little bit of multiplayer today. Um, just a couple quick battles before this Anticity tournament kicks off. I may not be able to stick around to finish the whole tournament, unfortunately. But we'll get as many games in as we can. But before we do that, I've got to send an anti-Slanesh build off to a compatriot here. There are a few ways you can go about this matchup. As Khorne, you've actually got some pretty good characters into this enemy faction. It does come with a few attendant risks, though. Generally speaking, you're best off going with a fairly easy to disengage character. So, you know, like, Valkia can be pretty good. Skulltaker is a little risky, even on his Blood Throne here, because of characters like Nakari. So, I'm gonna try and give the person asking something a little bit different. An old standby build that I honestly used to go with pretty often into Slanesh with, because it does have pretty good tools for the wide variety of units that you can run into that they're probably going to be throwing out that you're going to have to deal with. Breeds of the Hound are really good now because they're unbreakable. Chaos Spawn are actually okay in this matchup. They can help you out quite a bit with survivability. And they just kind of sit and anchor objectives really well, to be quite honest. Not a whole lot of risk with throwing one out on the field just to be, you know, a little bit of mass to, like, block up an enemy charge when they're just, like, screaming in against you trying to take you out. You can't bring a Blood Throne against Slanesh. I've actually found them to be a fairly decent unit. Some of the things you gotta be careful of with this build is Valkia can get pavaned into a bad situation, but with the adjustments to it now, it's a lot less likely. You've got, you know, like 15 seconds to react to it. If you're not keeping a close eye on her in the first place, you're already probably gonna fumble her away. But with a build like this, you've got a lot of flexibility in terms of the mobility. We've got some buffs here with the Encourage effect and the Totem, which gives 8 additional leadership, plus the melee attack, of course. These Blood Shrines are also pretty good at running over Demonettes and whatnot, and you do have some answers to those as well with Blood Letters, which are a fairly solid unit. Can also go with Chaos Warriors, but I feel like Bloodletters are usually a little bit stronger. They don't get routed, obviously, and Slanesh is very good at terrifying and routing, like, mortal-type units. The things you gotta be really careful with are the throwing axes, because you do want a few of these guys. They're just a good skirmish tool. You don't want to be too aggressive with them, but they can do a lot for you. Really protect your flanks at the time. So, I'm going to screenshot that and send it off. And that way they've got a little bit of something to work with for the new player tournament. Sweet. The other thing that they wanted was a build against Ogre Kingdoms, which is a lot harder, because Ogre Kingdoms are actually pretty terrifying. Against Khorne, they can really shred you, to be quite frank. It is not easy at all, but I have found a lot of success, actually, with these cultists running around on foot with an Exalted Bloodthirster who can kind of come and bail them out of fights against somebody like Golg. because you will run into Golg. It's almost inevitable. He's just a terrifying beast in combat. Definitely don't want to be scrapping with him fairly. You can definitely run into some issues. Actually like Blood Beasts against the Ogre Kingdoms because they hammer against Ogre Bulls, actually, with their huge weapon strength. They do a really good job against the basic Bulls. And then the Minotaurs are for your more, large stuff. But really, the throwing axes need to be your answer to, like, Stonehorns and whatnot, while the Minotaurs kill the, what are they called? Golg's Man-Eaters. His anti-infantry Ogre Bull unit, which is just absolutely beast mode against Khorne. This unit is disgustingly strong. You just don't want to leave the ogres to get very fair engagements against you, because if you do, you're probably gonna lose the lose the game. There's really not a whole lot you can do to stop that. So you've got like the Hounds of the Blood Hunt, a really solid unit that can kind of run in and chew on stuff and skirmish in the early game and just kind of run around with the Exalted Bloodthirster looking for positioning. You don't really have a whole lot of range, which can be a problem, but that's where the Horsemen come in. You can always bring these guys out when the time comes, but you gotta play this matchup really patiently. It's very difficult, to be quite honest. Definitely one that comes with a fair number of risks. Mostly due to lead belchers and stuff like that can really hammer you. But you do have lots of good DPS tools to kill lead belchers as Khorne. So it's a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors. Let me just title these. And be patient against ogres. Sick. That's out of the way. Let's go and see if we can get a quick match in before the tournament starts. That's really all we needed to do. I just wanted to make sure that Sharky got some builds since he was asking. I do want to try and make sure that everybody is getting an opportunity, and to minimize the growing pains into some of the tougher Khorne matchups, because Slaanesh and Ogre Kingdoms can be very frustrating at times. Let's go. Okay. Oh, and I need to go check in and declare my faction before I completely forget about it. Because I will otherwise. A little sad I'm going to be missing this tabletop style tournament that Turin is hosting at 4. That's around the time that I have to leave to go get some work done. But it's okay. I'm sure he's going to be hosting another one soon. He's been playing a ton of Dawn of War. I wouldn't be surprised to see him kind of come back around to play some Total War a little bit more often. Okay, on Black Ark against the Empire. Empire can be a little tricky. Don't actually know who I want to bring here. There's definitely a few ways you can go about it. Empire is a fairly tough faction for Khorne to play into. They've got some really strong stuff that they can definitely push you around with, but you're not lacking answers either. In most respects, you're going to stay fairly even with the imps. As long as you don't get overly hasty. Dude's ready to just jump into it here. I don't want to bring Brutes of the Hound. I don't actually think so. They probably just get pummeled to death by shooting and artillery. Whatever, I'll add them in. Another Khorne Gore. We do need them for Black Ark. This map has very aggressive vanguards. Being able to throw a decent number of units out from the vanguard will be really important. 3 Khorne Gores is probably good. Maybe a Forsaken. Hounds of the Blood Hunt, not really that important. I'll probably get another one of these guys in. Something like this. Just go for a really wide anti-kite type of build, perhaps. Sure. I don't hate this at all. It's a little vulnerable to artillery, so we'll have to be careful about that. If the Empire just wants to, like, bring like double or triple cannon and try and blast us off the points, we're gonna have to play off the objectives for a little bit until we can like build up and then push out onto them. But with some quick aggressive units, we should be able to grab one of these points early on. I thought about doing Marauder Horsemen early, but then I remembered War Wagons just shred them to bits. Honestly, better to leave Fleshhounds and Furies to be the ones who take some of that early damage, actually. Ironically enough, they can hold up to it a little bit better. Well, Kyrdai is just like 100% juiced and ready to go on this one. So let's not take too long getting set up, but we're not gonna overstretch ourselves. We're gonna take our time getting this prepared.
Quick! For the kill.
This is front line. It's a Pistolier. There's no There's the Searing Doom, Final Transmutation. We got Blast as well. I got the scroll. Hammer of the Witch is going to be really annoying, but that's fine. It's going to take a minute to get into range, so we'll just kind of keep our Khorne Gores back, and then we're going to pull off of the objective and keep our Minos out in the corner.
Keep it from the foe.
You just have to position around the shot blockers so that the artillery doesn't pummel you too badly. And you can leave Marauders up on the objectives. And look at how many units we've got to just summon out from our vanguard. It's going to be so nice. Minotaur first, though. Going to be really good to have the Minos all on the table for the Knights. And they can stay fairly far away. My opponent's going to come in and poke the Pistoliers, which is whatever. They can do that all they want. It's nothing too scary for me. The Furies are going to fly out to the side, and we'll get the Marauders over here. The Minos can kind of position out here. We could push forward the Fleshhounds, but I do think that comes with a few risks. Maybe we'll send the Minotaur around the side as well. Valkia is just not going to take that much damage from the Pistoliers. They can hit her, but she's a pretty small target, and they are a little inaccurate. They don't hit super consistently, so I'm not too fussed about it. We're going to just go in, and we're going to threaten a little bit of poke, and then, yeah, we'll just pull back and away. We don't really need to fight, Boris right this second, although if he's going to land here, we can, engage him. See, the thing is that Furies are actually pretty good at locking opponents down. Just pull away. Pop Demon Shield now that the Furies have to pull back. And see, my opponent actually took a pretty decent amount of damage. I thought maybe Boris would stay, but he actually just retreats. Which is fine. We don't want to engage yet. Bring up a Blood Beast. Yeah, my opponent wants to shoot the Minos, and the Minos are going to jump back behind the shot blocker here real quick. And the Fleshhounds are going to get ready for some party time. So I actually get back behind here before my opponent can really do anything. And you can see Boris is just trying to be a butthole to my poor Marauders. Although the Brutes of the Hound will be relatively well off against him. Just get away from the spells. We don't need to get hit by those. I'm good. We're gonna land here. Because people get a little over anxious at times and don't always do what they need to defend their units when you go for strategies like this. It can actually work out really nicely for you in terms of catching opponents and lords on the ground, which is kind of exactly what's happening here. We're gonna just completely collapse on Boris and start beating the crap out of him. We'll just land here, actually. Now we're gonna go back in. I actually think a Fleshhound here is a good idea to get up and around that flank. Oh, and Boris just escaped. I seriously thought we were gonna catch him, but apparently not. He's just gonna get out of there and start being a nuisance again. Let's get in here, let's get in here, let's attack here, let's get these guys moving in, let's attack the greatswords. Let's push the Minos through, and let's get this wizard. Don't need to leave the wizard alive any longer than we already have. I'm gonna get another Fury in, actually. Alright, so the Knights are hammering against my poor guys. My opponent is doing a pretty good job of defending this battlefield right now, but I think we're going to be able to pummel him in a moment here. We've got a Minotaur around the back, which is whatever. We're going to turn around and charge away from all these spearmen. Where's the Hammer of the Witches? Is right here. I think we'll be able to get it now. Stay engaged, pop this, get in here, keep fighting, fly over, drop this, move all of these guys in. We did kill it, so we're just gonna get away now. No need to continue engaging over there. The Minotaur's got absolutely dunked on. That's pretty unfortunate. But we are kind of bulldozing the infantry portion of this army. I'm actually going to use these guys to get in here. I'm going to send a Korngor forward. Got a very beat up flagellant back here. I'm gonna try and answer that real quick. Now we can just use our big boys to kind of occupy our opponent's attention and keep charging around and collapsing on stuff. Okay, I need the Minos to really start getting active here. They've been a little bit mediocre up to this point, which is not great. There's the silver bullets that are hammering me right now. I want to get away from here so that I'm not getting shot by them, actually. And we'll go kill the other elements of my opponent's army. Just for a little bit, at least. Yeah, we get on the silver bullets here, which is great. Brutes of the Hound and the Corn Gores can go and push those dudes now. Need to just keep holding here. Get another fleshy. And we'll go bulldozing for our opponent's backline. And Valkyrie can just land on the Free Company militia. So we pulled down most of the knights, and that's just a tap out from my opponent. It was pretty well played by Kirdai, but we did I did do a pretty good job of building up before I went in. We actually got the units that we needed out onto the field, and then we got a very clean engagement across the line. We killed my opponent's caster while they were busy microing elsewhere, which is a really nice catch, and you know, that's kind of how you round out a game against the imps. They can definitely put you in a rough spot if you're not careful, but if you are patient and know what you're doing with how you're throwing your units out, you usually aren't going to be able to outshoot you before you collapse on them. And once you get the melee engagements as Khorne, that's kind of GG for some factions. The Empire is definitely one of those factions. They just don't have the juice in melee combat to outlast you. Even if they bring stuff like the Flagellants. Because the Flagellants are actually fairly weak to all your shock damage because they have no armor. Okay, I mean, we could be playing again. We got Celestial Lake this time. I'm gonna lock in Khorne again. You can see my opponent is going Slaanesh because they want to play that game. That's okay though. I'm really not that stressed about this. I actually think that Khorne has a pretty good matchup into the Slaaneshi forces. And we can try out that, try out a little bit of that build that I was just showing off to, Sharky. Cut all that, we're gonna get this. You can do the Minotaur early. Or you can do the Horseman. Either or is fine, just have to make sure that you have the Flesh Hounds, because if you don't have Flesh Hounds, you can kind of get pushed around. Slash is just one of those factions, dude. They will bully you if you allow them to. Kind of the game plan is to just not let that happen. You just need to be very bold in this matchup. Alright, 1450 gold left. We could get one more of these guys. I guess we can get another Bloodletter. You want to make sure that you have mobility. You don't need nearly as much anti-large as you might think. Anti-large can be fairly weak to stuff like Hellstriders and whatnot. Plus, it gets a little pricey, and stuff like Seekers are still around and available. And Fleshhounds are just way stronger, pound for pound, against Seekers, because they do really good damage for not too terribly much of an investment. Now, this map is going to suck, because Slaanesh has Strider on everything, so they can just get into all these trees and forest and just never allow you to interact with them fairly, because you can't attack them in the forests, unfortunately. It's really dumb. I despise the Strider on everything for Slaanesh. To this day, it is one of the most, like, glaringly, like, obvious, we don't think this is as strong as it really is type of deals that CA did when it comes to the Marks of Chaos. Because all the other ones do have clear drawbacks. Slaanesh's marks are just straight up better than everybody else, and there's nothing you can do about that. You just have to avoid fighting them on any kind of terrain feature. Because if you do, they'll just dunk on you. Nobody likes that. So we got Nakari here, but we do also have the means to kind of shut him down a little bit. You got double Hellstrider in the opener. Throw our boy up. Yeah, we'll get on the point real quick, and we'll start capping this. I mean, Slaanesh is going to come in, and they're just going to immediately start trying to get engagements against all of my stuff, because they don't have to be afraid of anything. They can just do that because that's the kind of faction they are. They're arguably better at rushing than even Khorne is, but this is honestly not a bad little fight here. We get a little bit of a chunk of damage on my opponent. You can see the Fiends coming in. My opponent gonna be trying to dive with old Nakari. This is where you just punish your opponent for making a huge mistake like this, which is exactly what we're gonna do. Try and land in here on him. We'll just keep these guys fighting, and we're gonna collapse from the rear on this position as best we can. So yeah, Nakari is getting absolutely chunked right now, which is amazing business. We're going to get the Fleshhounds off so they can get the charge bonus against those Hellstriders. So he's going to escape, but we do have a pretty nice fight going off. You know, we're definitely grinding through my opponent pretty well right now. They're in a little bit of a rough spot. They've got a lot of bodies in some really awkward positions that they don't want to be in right now. So let's just get out of here and go fight the other business that's hanging out around the field. Definitely need to make sure that we chase everything off here. We need to try and keep our Marauder Horsemen alive, but honestly, like, my opponent already fumbled this bag. I know we're fighting Slaanesh in the trees, but this isn't a terrible situation for fighting them in the forests. Just getting Nakari to go chase Bad Boy down, and then we get more Minos in, because Minos will be able to hammer the mobility really well. So the Forsaken are an issue, the Princes of Perfection are irritating, but we can still keep moving. Let's summon this now. Let's get Valkia out of here. How the hell? Come on, guys, get moving! Just standing there, you see that? They just literally are just milling about aimlessly, not actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is fighting for me. I swear, super irritating. So you got the Seekers in here. We're gonna actually buff all this stuff up here and just chew those down real quick, and then we'll get over. The value lead is evaporating a little bit, which is not ideal. Get another Fleshhound out. A lot of stuff is crumbled for my opponent, I suppose. So maybe that's gonna be it. We're really gonna lose this game. That'd be so frustrating, dude. I swear to God, Slanesh is the most obnoxious faction in the entire game. I think we're okay. I think my opponent's actually had enough crumbling that I'll be able to get one or two more decisive engagements and just win anyways. Valkia is very healthy, which is like the thing that you need to worry about the most. She can run into some problems if you're not careful. You just want to make sure that she lives and she never dies. God damn, Nakari and his heal, dude. Oh my god, no. So this is how I lose this game, is if Nakari just gets to proc his heals for the next, like, 10 minutes, because he's got one of the most broken sustain items in the entire game. Maybe we can grind this down still, though. I'm so tired of this character, dude. He's so dumb. Gets me absolutely, infuriated. Look at that, all my flesh hounds crumble out. Oh, it doesn't matter how good your engagements are, your opponent just throws out all these stupid units and then you get caught in the forest. And I really thought that we were going to be okay, but obviously not, so... wow. Nice. That's rough, dude. Gotta be kidding me. What is this faction? Like, come on, CA. Are you kidding me, dude? Didn't really get a lot of good value trades, man. The Forsaken did alright. I don't even know how Nakari, I don't even know how you stop him, because you can't silence his heal. His heal goes off anyways, even if Karanak is underneath him. So he just outlasts you, and then he just runs away and he cackles and he makes you look like an idiot. Which, not exactly the most enticing and enjoyable experience to me. That's just not a very good map for Khorne against Slanesh. There's too many positions for them to fight you and get away with murder, like what we just saw there. Alright, I'm gonna boot back up with the map pack so we can get ready for the tournament, because that will be happening imminently. We'll probably have a little bit of a better time there. One day I hope that Slanesh will well and truly get put in its place by not having all of the obscenely busted stuff that it has. Because they just dominate in domination mode. They just lock every point out against you. Can't terror out them, can't engage them on terrain. They're faster than you. All of their 100-speed mobile units have poison, so you can't run away from them. They all have devastating flanker as well, so if they catch you out of position one time, they delete you. It's rough. And if you can't face check them on a map, then you basically might as well throw the towel in. That's kind of what happened in that last game. Let's go game plan. Let's game plan a little bit. Let me go see what people are declaring for their factions. We got some Chaos Dwarves. We've got Tzeentch. We've got Daniken on the Dark Elves, of course. We've got one High Elf player. We got a Dowie. Warriors of Chaos, Dark Elves. I'm on Khorne. Greenskins. More High Elves and Chaos Dwarves. Tomb Kings. And Disney is on Slanesh. Oh my god. Attack speed is on Chowie, and who is this? Grink is on Nurgle. Okay. Maybe an Exalted Bloodthirster would have been the call that last game. Running around with Karanak, these guys can punish Slaanesh pretty well. Plus the Exalted Bloodthirster shuts down Azazel really hard too, and you do see Azazel every now and then. The thing that I'm just frustrated about is the Nakari heal from that last game. It just is so dumb that he can ignore the fact that Karanak is underneath him and just heal anyways. Because you're supposed to silence abilities, and this is theoretically an ability. Why does this not get locked out by the silence effect? Isn't that the whole point of the character? How are you gonna make Doggo that's really good against magic users, and then for like magical regeneration purposes, which to me seems very magic-y, he just has absolutely no effect on that. So the matchups that I'm most worried about for the tournament, based off what people have selected here, obviously Dark Elves are just really tough for Khorne, period. Crazy good Kite. A lot of AP. Good Lords, characters in general. They can definitely keep you at arm's length until there's just nothing left for your forces to give. Dowie are a little tricky, but I'm usually pretty set against them. Nurgle's fine. Chaos Dowie are probably the next scariest faction, and then I guess I just hope that I don't get Anticity on Slaanesh on a map that has a bunch of forests. As long as we don't have to send flesh hounds up into trees, they should be fine. Let's go scheme up a Dark Elf build. Because they definitely have proven to be one of the most difficult factions for Khorne to handle. I'm not entirely sure what you need to do here. Maybe a Blood Speaker can work. Honestly, maybe you just go with like the most dirt cheap lord of all time, with a Chaos Lord of Khorne on horseback, and you just bring the icon for perfect vigor. It's really not that expensive. 1,400 gold is pretty cheap. Couple Marauders, Chaos Warriors are a pretty good call. Soul Grinder I don't see being good. I do like a Skull Cannon. I just feel like you don't bring this guy. You just do Valkia. She's like your cheapest option. She's pretty good for the anti-kite business that you usually need for this faction. Get cultists. Maybe just do the Hellforge Bellowers. I just don't know about it into the worry with the Skull Cannon is the Scourge Runner Chariots. It's fairly short range. I really like double Skull Cannon for that reason. Double Skull Cannon is actually fairly impactful against Dark Elves because they can shoot up the approaching Scourge Runners pretty well. They actually do pretty good damage to the models if you make contact. It's just a question of actually landing those shots. That's the big what if. Couple Corn Gores for Cold One Knights. Do Minos. Actually, the Cultists, I think, are just too slow. Maybe you do a Mino here. You do something like this. Maybe a single Skull Cannon is good enough. I just feel like double is going to be a little bit better. You just get up on a point, and then your opponent tries to get in on the Skull Cannons. You just make sure that you box out with all your infantry here. Then you fill out with some mindless aggression, and you go from 0 to 100, I guess. Damn, more Dark Elves. And 2 Brett players here in the last minute before the signups are done. What's up, guys? Should silence automatic abilities? You would think it would. I don't know why it wouldn't. It's not even an automatic ability. I really should go back. I'm gonna go save that replay. I haven't played anything since then. Because I do want to go back and look. Because I swear, man, Ikari was fully within the radius of Karanak's silence aura. And he procced his really big bullshit heal anyways. And that lost me the game. And I think that's just ridiculous. I don't understand. To me, silence should silence everything. Like, every single ability you have. Even stuff like Strider. Because the way that the way they write Karanak here is physical manifestation of Khorne's vengeance unleashed against his doombound foes. If you're a single entity and he's got you in his sights, then you should not be able to get the benefits of any of your special little doohickeys. Like, no passive heals, no Strider, no Mortis Engines, no spells, obviously, blah, 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 blah. All of it gone. Any tips on how to play Arbol? Arbol's cool. I like him. With Arbol, you're kind of using him to control space on the battlefield. You want to be able to get the Eye of Khorne off in decisive engagements on low health units. That way you can kill something that might get healed up. You know, something fairly expensive. Delete the last 20% HP on them, make sure they don't come out, and then use the Chaos Spawn to continue the rampage and maybe cut off retreat of any other forces. If you're the Blood God, it actually does pretty good damage and can shred cavalry and the like. I think Arbol is just really matchup dependent. I think he's good into Tomb Kings. I think he's got some teeth against... he's actually not terrible against Wood Elves. It's not really the best matchup for him, but he is extra resilient to missiles, and he's got a little bit of extra spell resistance, so Wood Elves isn't a bad spot for him to function and operate, because he's fairly resilient. And he's quick, so he can run around and stay away from something like Sisters of Twilight. Where else is Arbol gonna thrive? I don't really know. Maybe Chaos Dwarves? Although for Chaos Dwarves, I really like Valkia personally. I think Beastman wouldn't be bad. Really, Arbol is best where he can use his explosion to just butcher enemy cavalry that come out to try and shut him down, because the sad thing about Arbol is his bad mass, so he just gets caught in the middle of, like, enemy cavalry usually. Like, Tomb Kings want to throw out cav to lock down your lords and stuff. That's why I like him for that matchup, because he punishes your opponent trying to blob up around you like that. And you want to use them to just punish landings from enemy lords. Anytime your opponent brings their lord in, either to engage you from the ground, if they're a ground-based character, throw them in there, chew on them a little bit, spit them out. Same with flyers. He's just a bit of a bully, and you need to use him like that. You don't want to take fair fights with Arbol. I know he's got the name. Ignore this though. Arbol is the always defeated. If you throw him in against a character like Archeon or Kolek, he's gonna get his ass kicked. Even Sartorial can be a little bit up and down for Arbol. I don't really consider any of the Corn Lords outside of Skulltaker to be, like, truly unstoppable nightmares. They all have a lot of counterplay around them, to be quite honest. Skulltaker is the reason that you see Skulltaker all the time is because you just put him on the Blood Throne and you bring these three abilities, and nobody is going to be able to take a fight against him. Because he'll heal through a bunch of the damage with Gorthy. Slayer's Sword weakens, which lowers weapon strength. Also boosts his weapon strength up by a buffoonish amount. And gives him, once you're factoring in Revel and Totem, giving him 16 melee attack. He's already up at 63 for the entire game because of Unyielding Assault. Add in the Slayer's Sword, and he's up at well over 80. Melee attack on a regular basis in fights. Add in Bloody Onslaught, and you're debuffing armor, as well as melee defense, and he hits really consistently. Skulltaker is an absolute beast mode character. It's crazy how strong he is. Playing with the other Corn Lords is honestly kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage a lot of the time. Valkia is the only other option that is, like, truly decent, because she's pretty good at, Valkia is, like, pretty good at keeping herself alive against missile fire, because she's really small, has the shield, she's got Demon Shield also for if she gets netted and you get caught out a little bit. It's actually kind of nice for drawing out your opponent's, like, net casts. It's just never free with her like it is with Skulltaker. That's why you see Skulltaker literally all the time. Okay, so we got our first game, and we're up against Nerd War Room, who I haven't played in a long time. They've been in and out, so kind of interesting to see them here. They're on Ogre Kingdoms. Oh god. Alright, well, we're going to see how our Ogre Kingdoms build does then. We're going to actually bring the Exalted Bloodthirster, because I really like this guy for the terror that he causes in this matchup. I think it actually is pretty damn good. And we'll see what we can get rolling here. Who's banning maps first? So our opponent's actually here. So we might as well go ahead and start figuring out what we want to get rid of. Don't really want to fight ogres on Bray Valley. Well, actually, Bray Valley is better than Hashett's oil fields. What are the, what's the bracket? Hello? Oh, I need to refresh it, that's why. Okay, I'm top of bracket, so we're gonna ban oil fields because that map is way too freaking open. It is genuinely dreadful. Fighting against the Ogre Kingdoms on super open maps, I don't really want to do it at all. Altar of the Champion is fairly open, but not nearly as much as that other one is. Preferably our opponent picks my map of choice, but the odds of that is unlikely. Actually, going to Brave Alley. Okay, okay. Let's see if we can make it happen there. Brave Alley is kind of cool. You've got some stuff you can work with for sure. I don't think this is gonna be all that bad. I actually have some hopes here. You just go triple Minotaur. Actually, we'll open up with one just in case. I really love bringing my horsemen in early, but that doesn't always end up happening. I'll just keep them back for now. Get a Blood Beast. What else do we need? Brutes of the Hound wouldn't be bad here. Maybe another Flesh Hound. Or actually the Forsaken. So the reason you bring the Bloodthirster is because he can actually fight Golg and do some really good damage to him. Skulltaker isn't bad here. He is actually fairly strong, but he doesn't have Terror, and Ogre Kingdoms are actually very, very vulnerable to Terror routes. Salted Bloodthirster is really good for getting Noblars running away. And if you can do that and get Noblars moving about and constantly having to disengage from you, it's a huge win. That's where you can get some business going. Now I really want this Blood Beast. We'll cut down here. That way we can get a Warhound in. Warhounds are pretty good against Lead Belchers, so we're almost guaranteed to see those. If Nerd doesn't bring Lead Belchers, I'd be stunned. Welcome to the stream, by the way, guys. Nice to see you all here. I appreciate it. I'll try and make the games as entertaining as possible, obviously. But I'm not going to be able to finish the tournament. LOL. Did the new player tournament seriously get canceled? Oh yeah, Nerd was supposed to be hosting that, wasn't he? Dude, I really hope that he maybe he just forgot. Maybe he'll still host it anyways. Just on a different day. Alright, we'll see what the cultists can do here. Cultists are great because they are very resilient. You know, I'm going to keep them up in the forest on the number 2. This is where we're going to try and play most of the game, is the 2 and the 3, because there's actually good shot blockers on these objectives. Last thing I want is to let the Ogre Kingdoms just blast away at me. Minos do have Woodsmen, finally, so they can actually sit up in the forest here. We could send a Marauder off to the side, but we're at a numbers disadvantage, which is almost always the case into Ogre Kingdoms. I mean, if you're not seeing a 20 stack of Ogres, I don't know what your opponent is doing, quite frankly. You have to have Noblars to do anything on that faction. Without Noblars, the Ogre Bulls are just kind of useless. Okay, so since my opponent went really wide, the throwing axes are not going to be very good, and it's going to be the Minotaurs that I'm going to need, because they're going to Death Ball, and they're going to go and bulldoze through Noblar positions and get on all the really squishy bits. Is kind of going to be the idea. I don't anticipate we'll be seeing anything too crazy other than Ogre Bull dual weapons, and then Mornfang Great Weapon Cavalry. Those are going to be very common here, I imagine. I'd be shocked if I didn't see 2 or 3 Mornfang Great Cavs. And then there's going to be the Slaughtermaster with Troll Guts, probably. Again, it would be a truly stunning decision to not bring that character. We do have the Cultists, though. Cultists are actually pretty good at killing the Butchers and Slaughtermasters. They've got really good stats, and the Slaughtermasters don't have good armor. So the Cultists can actually put some moves on those guys. Add in the Bloodthirster, who with Deathbringer can chunk that guy down, and that's what we're going to be looking for. Nerd Worm said they're ready, so we'll just, like, kick it off here. Get up on the point. Yeah, we got multiple Ogre Bulls. We got a bunch of Noblars. Just all regular ones in the front line. That's an Ogre Paymaster, actually, which is kind of cool to see. Paymasters, I wouldn't really say are a very good unit. Quite frankly, I don't think that they're strong in the least. And that's going to be Trappers. So the Trappers are going to try and stop us from taking this point, but they don't have very good cap weight. We'll be able to take it without too much of an issue.
Victory point. Keep it from the foe.
I'm going to send our Cultists in to grab that. And we'll get the Marauders just hiding in trees. And we need to spread out a little bit. We don't want to be too scattered with this. There's the Lead Belchers. That's the least surprising unit to see, obviously. Not using Lead Belchers as the Ogre Kingdoms is always a mistake. So we're just going to run in and threaten, and we'll do a little bit of dodging here. Alright, we actually get on top of the Trappers here. We've got the Lead Belchers kind of nuking their own guys here a little bit, which I think is pretty funny. My opponent's getting a little too antsy here. Sending this Ogre Paymaster forward is not actually a very good idea. These guys are pretty weak to the Cultists, as I said. Even like the Paymaster is more of a combat character, but isn't really a proper scrapper. Not in comparison to a lot of the like other options in this game, like the Bloodthirster. So we get a little bit of damage here. We're just gonna get away, and we're gonna have the Cultists get in there and keep going. Let's get up in the air. The Giant is on the way in, so we could actually try and pull back some. We've almost got the supplies for our next stage of goodies here. Saber Tusk packs coming out. That's my own fault. I shouldn't have done this. It was a really bad idea on my part. Ah, dude, fucking Saber Tusk packs deleting my poor little guys up there. It's brutal engagement for me, unfortunately. Well, it's just is what it is, I guess. What are you gonna do, huh? Let's actually move back out to this fight over here against the Giant. Let's just get engaged in melee combat as best we can. If you can kill the Ogre Lords, they fall apart real quick. They do not like it when that happens. We need to get away from the Giant. We want to fight the Giant as little as possible with those guys. Okay, we're going to go for the Lead Belchers. We're going to move up and engage here. We're going to have the Minos pushing around and trying to be sneaky and tricksy. Let's get these Ogre Bulls real quick. Exalted Bloodthirster ain't doing too hot, but whatever. We'll just have to keep him in this fight as long as possible. Let's get up and around. Let's fight here. Minos need to carry their weight. Let's get the Bloodthirster to continue this rampage against the Leadbelchers. Alright, here we go. We're gonna start dropping our Bloodletter summons, and they're gonna get all of these little Noblard trappers down as quickly as possible. So we need to get away from Pigback Riders. Those are the last things we want to be engaged on for an extended period. Let's kill these Man-Eaters real quick. Okay, Minos, are y'all going to just run away and not do anything, is my question for you. I'd really like it if they could actually do some damage here. Let's pop this, let's get these guys in here, and look at the cultists, man. They're really bullying that poor Paymaster right now. Let's get the units in here, let's get another Corngore out, and just keep charging down the hill with these guys. We're leaving our Marauder over here. We're going to turn around and charge these Nobblers down with their boys. Those poor, those Bloodletters have just not done enough work, in my book. They've been a little disappointing. Honestly, my opponent has not been doing a great job with magic or anything. There's been no magic this game from my opponent, which is always a big mistake, honestly. You really need magic as the Ogre Kingdoms. I think a Blood Beast is the way to go here. Need to get the Minos out. We got one very healthy Minotaur left, and that's really it. The others are all a little bit more beat up. Let's pop this and just finish off that Paymaster. And then I think we can maybe grind down the remainder of the Ogre Kingdom army.
You have killed an enemy lord.
Yeah, the Blood Beasts will be good because they can come in and they can charge down those Pigbacks, and we're just chasing off all the Noblars. And the Maw Butcher comes out a little too late. You can see the leadership problems really just destroying the Ogre Kingdoms right now. Without their magic and without their lords, they tend to fall apart because they're just so dependent on those things, right? We get the win here. We got the Furies. They can just chase. Just regular old Noblars. Should just go support the Minotaurs over here. Butcher is messed up now. We got this unit of Minos that can go over here. We got another Leadbelcher on the field. Exalted Bloodthirster may go down here, and that would be a little unfortunate, but I think we've got the advantaged position on the battlefield regardless. We can just use our Minos and our Cultists to kind of anchor points once it comes time to really commit to that. Get the Horsemen out. Where are... here they are. Alright, we're getting a good fight here. We're gonna pop our horn here. I've been a little over-sparing, I think, with the army abilities. I probably could stand to use them a little bit more aggressively right now, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm gonna send the Warhound to go grab the #1 here. Yeah, you can see the Minotaur Death Ball is just deleting all of my opponent's important and relevant units here. Gonna keep going, gonna keep going, gonna keep going. If you're always charging, you can do some really hideous stuff to your opponent. We've got the throwing axes here to actually kill the giant, because I don't want to fight the giant in melee. It's already gotten enough value off of me. I'm gonna get my other throwing axe out here, and they can continue to assist. Blood Vulture's going down. We're gonna get after these Lead Belchers because they're still alive. The Cultists are gonna go after the Noblar Trappers. We're gonna pop the Horn of Corn on this Minotaur that's like on death's bed, basically. Because we're just gonna kill these bulls, and then we just keep on rampaging past and hard committing into my opponent for as long as possible here. Keep going, guys. We could get out some Furies, but I don't think that's what we really want to go for. It was a good game, for sure. Yeah, Lead Belchers did okay. Excuse me. So the Lead Belchers with 1200 is pretty good value. The Noblar Trappers got some good work done too. I like it. I just don't like the Paymaster. The Ogre Paymasters are just not that strong. They really don't provide you much value, and they tend to just kind of get ripped to pieces by anything that's even like vaguely more combat oriented than they are. Minos were great, 1500, 1800, and 1800. Very consistent performances from them. You love to see it. Some of them were even pretty healthy at the end. One of them was doing great. Blood Beasts are solid, 152 kills, 555 value. I mean, that's like all killing Noblars. Fury with okay value. Warhound didn't really do much. The Fleshhound I should have played more carefully with. Losing this early was really painful. There was no reason for me to overextend it the way I did. I just got antsy and thought I could sneak it around the map, but my opponent was too smart for it. Oh, what's up, Twist? Nice to see you, dude. It's very possible that he felt a little bit trampled out by Anticity. I do reckon that's there's a strong likelihood of that. It is kind of a feels bad moment when you're, you know, trying to host a tournament and you announce it well in advance, and then, you know, like Turin or Anticity show up and then announce something that's like 30 minutes after yours that you've been working on getting signups for, and then you just get totally swamped. But it is what it is, I guess, you know. Not too many... Yeah, I'm curious to see who advances for the Legendary Lords tournament, too. It's going to be really interesting. There's a decent number left on the table. Now, I'm going to be getting the... hopefully, I'm going to be able to play the last Beastman Lord available. Malagor. Malagor's always been one of the stronger Lord options. Definitely the strongest Legendary Lord option. So I should have a pretty good time there, because I am fairly familiar with executing builds with the required units that that Morgr has to bring, or Malagor, not Morgr. Morgr is who I played the last Sunday. Malagor needs to bring a Cygor and Harpies. Harpies aren't going to be very good. They're okay. The Cygor, though, the Iron Warsleep, is actually a really good unit. It's been... The last patch, I noticed that it was having some weird accuracy issues. But I do believe that there is an odds-on chance that we don't have to deal with that with the newest patch that came out today. That's actually something worth testing. Let's go see if we can figure out if its accuracy is fixed. Because what it was doing was the Eye of Morsley was shooting way over people's heads, which was stupidly obnoxious. It was driving me crazy. Malagor in the Eye of Morsley is a really good combo because you've got a very strong position to retreat to with Malagor. And the Eye of Morsley is no slouch in melee combat. With 54 base melee attack, it's actually fairly good at pummeling stuff. Plus, you've got a Flock of Doom and Enfeebling Foe to proc Bestial Surge, so your army and your big monster are fresh for most of the game, which is usually a pretty good sign. We'll just get a couple of Goreherd in here, and we'll do Sigivald. Cut all of his stuff, just cause. And then we'll, you know, do like, 5 Chaos Warriors. I just want to see what it can do before they actually end up making contact. Be'lakor, no balls. I could do Be'lakor. I just really want to make it with the Beastmen. But I'll think about Be'lakor, because I've enjoyed him. I've enjoyed him on the Warriors of Chaos roster more, though. On the Demons of Chaos, I don't really think Be'lakor is all that good. But, you know, I mean, to each his own. Let's see if this guy still fires, like, way over the head of units. Ah, okay. He actually hit a shot there, which is nice to see. Hell yeah, it was very impactful. This is what I'm used to from it. Yeah, there we go. So previously what would happen, I'm going to just describe it real quick, is he would throw these boulders and they would look like they're on a good angle. But instead of actually hitting in the middle of the unit, well, there's a good example of it happening, except that would happen all the time. It wasn't like every other shot. It was literally every time it would throw a boulder, it would just throw it directly over the head of an enemy, which sucked. It was brutal. This thing is 1900 gold. The snares are great, but not worth it alone. You can see, here we go. This is where it seems like it might be threatening to rear its accuracy issues once more. Oh my god, dude. What the hell is happening? Stop missing, bro. It's got like 200 value on the way in. You just want your artillery to actually hit consistently. Especially when it's a single entity piece like this. The big boy isn't hitting his shots. The Beastmen can end up in some really ugly positions because they just aren't well geared at times for some of the types of engagements that they have to take. It's a good shot. Okay, so at the time of first contact, he's used 8 shots. Hit about 5 of those. Got 591 value, which really isn't that bad, so... Seems like it's a little less terrible. It still seems a little spotty, but... I don't know. It might be acceptable again. The ring scene. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the middle distance. That used to be where he was at his most accurate, actually. My preferred way to play with the Eye of Morsley was to actually motor him up to an objective, and then use him as a close-range artillery piece that can still cause terror in the frontline fights around him. So I really liked him as a centerpiece unit, like a well and true centerpiece in every sense of the word. I thought he was one of the best monsters for contested objective maps for the Beastmen. And if he's going to be super inaccurate at the middle ranges on the maps, then I don't know what he's going to be all that useful for. Maybe just, like, positioning the front line right in front of him, and then as the engagements start, you're just hammering the units that are closest to him with good angles of fire. That might be the only way to go about it now. But I'll do more experimentation, and we'll see about it on Sunday. Any matchup you think the Jabberslythe is usable? Yeah, there are matchups where the Jabberslythe is good. Tomb Kings is a pretty good Jabberslythe matchup. Lizardmen isn't terrible for Jabberslythes, actually, because people love bringing skinks. And even against Saurus Warriors have good leadership and everything, but if you're rear charging Saurus with the Jabberslythe, it can actually get them running pretty fast. Other matchups that are good for it. Maybe Empire. I just don't really love it for that. It's a little too risky. Empire has too much mass, and they've got really good shooting. Even if the Jabberslythe can clear out the State Troopers really well. Skaven's a really good matchup for the Jabberslythe, obviously. Low leadership faction against a terror-causing monster that also has a AoE Mortis engine for low leadership units is amazing. I've tried it in Vampire counts, and it just doesn't do enough, which is really sad. Vampire counts are kind of just a hard counter to the Beastmen. There's like one playstyle that I've found success with against vampires, and that's just going with Centaurs in en masse and just trying to cycle charge the vampire count player to pieces. Actually doesn't work that badly, because your frontline units are just not durable enough to fight the vampire counts. Going for the full hit and run build has had a little bit of success for me. Maybe if you build around the Jabberslythe with all of those other tools, then you could get it to do something, but I think you'd be better off running a Gorgon into the vampire counts. Gorgons are really good at killing the corpse carts because the anti-large bonus, and they're, you know, great stats, obviously. Plus, they have a good heal with strength from flesh. If you're gonna do a big monster, you probably do a Gorgon against counts. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else where the Jabberslythe is gonna be good. Ochre Kingdoms might not be a bad matchup for it. I'd be curious to see how a Jabberslythe does against Ogre Kingdoms. I mean, they're pretty low leadership. I mean, Noblar is only at 45. Bulls have 60, but that's honestly fairly low. Blood Vultures are a low leadership unit. You see a lot of them. Saber Tusks. The worry for the Jabberslythe against Ogre Kingdoms is the shooting. It would be Lead Belchers, and Lead Belchers do fall off a little bit against single entities. Their damage is respectable, but it can be a little inaccurate. I could try it out there, and I could report back to y'all about it. Based on stats, one might think they have the same uses. I think the Jabberslythe is better than the Incarnate Elemental. Here is the big difference between those two units. They are not similar at all, actually. You look at them, and they look like the same unit, basically, and you might be like, why the hell would you bring a Jabberslythe? The Incarnate Elemental literally has better leadership, better melee attack, more weapon strength by a huge margin. It's got a better charge bonus. It's also got Howl the Great Beast, which lowers leadership and speed. It's got an Mortis engine effect that's always active instead of conditional. But the thing is that the Incarnate Elemental is actually fairly ponderous with its 60 speed. It doesn't have very good charge acceleration. The mass at 9,000 is great, but The Jabberslythe is just a wacky unit, dude. This thing moves around so erratically. It's actually really strong plowing through infantry because its collision damage is out of this world. It's so good at clearing infantry. It's almost as strong on the charge as the Iron Demons are. If anybody has watched an Iron Demon bulldoze an infantry line, you know what that looks like and how brutal it is. Jabberslythes, I would argue, do just as good of charge damage, if not maybe even a little bit better. The thing about the Jabberslythe is just, you know, it is a monster with 75 leadership. It's got good HP pool here. And 75 is a good amount, especially for something that has resistance to fear and whatnot. It's not going to be losing any unless it gets hit by something like Doom and Darkness, which you never see anyways. The Spurting Bile Blood and Aura of Madness are really there just as a cherry on top for the value. If you just keep this thing cycle charging, the Jabberslythe will get way more value than an Incarnate Elemental will ever be able to get. These things, Incarnate Elementals, are for anchoring 1 point. You send it up, you hope that it holds the entire game, and you do your damnedest to make sure that happens. While the Jabberslythe runs around the entire battlefield just bouncing from fight to fight and drawing your opponent's aggro that you can then punish. Yeah, there you go. Twist put it really well there too. That's exactly my standpoint on him as well. Plus, the Jabberslythe is 200 gold cheaper, and the better melee defense is actually kind of huge. 42 is a decent amount. So, these things, if they do get caught, can actually survive for a few moments before they get fully deleted, and that's really all you need to punish your opponent. If you're playing really well with the Beastmen, you're pretty unstoppable, I would say. Beastmen are one of the best factions in the game. They're just so micro-intensive and execution-dependent that it can be very hard to play up to their potential. It is funny to say that they have a low profile. The Jabberslythes are a huge model, but they are kind of squat, so I get what you're saying with the dodge missiles better twist. I do agree with that. The Incarnate Elemental is just like a, you know, posture buddy. Incarnate Elemental has a little bit of a hunchback, but he's also, you know, like 50 feet tall. Kind of easy to hit something that's moving around like it's a few years out from being bedridden almost. Okay, so we're playing this dude Grank, so let's go find him. Tournament seems to be making fairly good time. Oh, here they are. Oh, they were already ready. I didn't see the Discord noti. Which is classic me. I'm always like 2 steps behind the curve, except when I'm not. And then I'm too far ahead of everybody else. I am banning map. So, what map am I banning? We'll just see what my opponent's playing first. Are they playing Bretonnia? It's always irritating, because that's the default faction that it selects to. Oh, Nurgle. Oh, okay. Khorne into Nurgle is pretty straightforward nowadays. Nurgle really struggles against Khorne, in my experience. It's not very easy for them. Yeah, Kislev, dude, okay, so here's something that's kind of cool. The Incarnate Elemental is also available to Kislev. It's actually better on the Kislev roster than the Beastman roster, and the reason for that is the Incarnate Elemental can actually be healed by Kislev. Beastmen don't have heals. Kislev does, with Patriarchs. The Incarnate Elemental, you can actually use it for its intended role on Kislev. Beastman is a lot harder. And I wouldn't recommend bringing it for the Beastman ever. If you're gonna play around with the Incarnate Elemental, you should be playing Kislev, and you should be playing around the Patriarchs and the Elemental. Just have them running around together, or preferably just sitting on a point. The Patriarchs just constantly heal it. Your opponent has to engage on it for one reason or another, either because you control the mobility game, or it's a map with the center objective. Either scenario works. And then you just grind your entire opponent's army down. The reason the Jabber is just always going to be better for the Beastmen, for what they have available to it. Skull Taker with... I don't think you need Cloak of Skulls here. It's not really that important. Grink is fairly newish, so do we do something a little different? Oh, we're gonna do it. Oh, I love the Soul Grinders. The Soul Grinders of Khorne are a great unit, man. We're gonna go, we're gonna get real dirty, actually. I'm gonna do something that I don't really do too often. We're gonna try and do, like, some Khorne mobility play. What do we bring in the secondary? I actually do think Bloodletter's the way to go in the reserve with Brutes of the Hound. Brutes of the Hound are just always good now. This unit is actually so cracked, it's incredible. I never thought I'd see the day where it was a strong unit. I can't get both of those guys vetted. I'll just give it to the Soul Grinder. The Soul Grinder will be more accurate, and gets one more leadership and stat there. We'll do a Minotaur. We'll do another Blood Beast, because why not? Blood Beasts are actually really good against Nurgle. They hammer light armor really well, which is Plague Toads, Furies, Nurglings, Plague Bearers, a lot of units that Nurgle really enjoys. So we can definitely use them to kind of push them around. What else do we need here, though? Oh yeah, we need, we do need flyers, because we have to deal with the Angels of Decay. Skull Taker the way to go, then? Yeah, Skull Taker is the way to go. We're gonna try and control the ground a decent amount. Maybe this is a bad idea, because, the Angels of Decay are a really nasty unit. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to survive them, like, just buzz-bombing the shit out of me the entire game. Oh yeah, I forgot to say what band I was putting in. Rift is a pretty good map. I think we might actually ban Dust Bowl. We're gonna ban Dust Bowl. Dust Bowl's not a good map for Khorne into Nurgle, because it's actually too big and open. Chateau is decent for the Hellforge Bellers, because this thing actually plays around terrain really well nowadays with its shorter range. Used to be a little frustrating in the past around terrain, because it had much longer distances it could fire, but now it's 160 meters. Having some terrain means it's a little bit easier to keep alive and avoid some of the scary units that want to hammer it. Oh, we could do a Slaughter Brute. Oh my god, Slaughter Brute would be so fun. Would it be good into Nurgle, though? That's the question. It's the age-old problem of you've still got to deal with the Angels of Decay. I'm going to do the Soul Grinder because I just prefer it. Yeah, that was Grink's pick. No freaking way. Play Play-Doh? What the hell map is he talking about? I don't know what map my opponent's talking about. Thank you, Empire. I am 100% worried about the blocker. I've kept it up. It had been a while. And then last stream, I just completely forgot about it and then blocked everybody out. Is that what he wants to ban or he wants to play on? I literally have no idea. Not made it very clear at all. I was trying to spell plateau. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, now I get it. So what was the other one? The other one was really nice. Can't remember it, though. Oh, yeah, Rift. I love Rift, dude. Good old Rift. Nothing beats that. It's a really good map for games in general. Let's see what we can do. We've got a pretty solid Khorne build here. I think it'll be pretty effective. The only thing we need to worry about is Angels of Decay. They're the most annoying unit in the entire game. Not really. There's other ones that I think are worse, but they are definitely up there. Khorne just really does not like having to fight flying units because the flying combat is still, to this day, a little bit messed up. It does not really work the way that you would prefer to see it work. I really want for CA to just commit to allowing factions other than just Slaanesh to actually be able to punish people that they catch. Slaanesh is the only faction where they always are able to catch their opponent and punish them for catching them because of the poison that's on all their 100 speed units. Khorne is a little too fair in that respect. You cannot always catch your opponent. There are lots of times as Khorne where your opponent just gets to walk away from you anyways, which is the absolute worst feeling in the world. And especially in the aerial combat, it's the reason why Bloodthirsters are such a dumb unit and kind of pathetic, because they have 95 speed and they can't catch anything. Because all of the other flying units are either faster or they're slightly slower, which means that because of the way the flying combat is coded, they can't attack the unit that they're chasing, which is also really frustrating. So there's a lot of things that I really hope CA touches up when they create their new engine for whatever mainline Total War game is next. If they can solve some of those issues, then I will be a very happy individual. Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Nurgle, lots of Plague Bearers, some Marauders, and Chaos Warriors. Okay. I'm not really all that worried about this army, to be quite honest. The Chaos Sorcerer Lord's going to be annoying. Here's the thing about going with Soul Grinders, is your opponent has to pick what they want to leech down, because they can either do a Skull Taker, who's the right choice to be hitting with the magic, or they can hit the Soul Grinder, which is actually kind of nice for Khorne. Because as good as the Soul Grinders are, there's definitely some things that they don't do as well as other units. We're just going to kill those Nurglings. Let's pull back and see if we can get a nice little charge off and just dodge some throwing axes. Alright, Soul Grinder uses the shotgun cannon and actually blasts my opponent in the face a little bit, and we're going to pull back because we did just stall long enough so that we actually got this point. Just go clean up these Nurglings. And we're going to bring out the Hellforged Bellowers, and let's actually pull back here. We don't need our Marauders and everything to be going in right now. They're not going to win that. It's not a very good engagement. I'm going to actually come over here and use the throwing axes a little bit. So my opponent's actually got a build that's a little bit vulnerable to some of my tools. Massive width from the Soul Grinder. I don't know what the hell it's doing. We're just out of range. We're going to pull back into the trees now. And the Hellforged Bellowers are going to actually use here for a moment. We're going to actually throw a volley at the Cultist. So these guys are weak to fire damage, and I think we can actually nuke them a little bit here. A nice little chunk of damage. We're just gonna retreat again. We've got the fight kicking off over here. We're just holding pat, doing what we can to keep my opponent locked down. It's a good stream of corruption, hitting a bunch of my stuff. Let's charge down here. I think I'm gonna save up for the yeah, Blood Beast. Just another Blood Beast for more hit and run power. We're just gonna keep hitting these, oh, those are actually Chosen. Okay, cool. Well, we'll keep hammering the Chosen, then. What is this? There's, shenanigans being summoned in over here. My opponent's gonna kite away, which is fine. We're just gonna keep picking him apart here. Yeah, Rancid Visitations. That is not Overcast, which is a big mistake. You should always Overcast Rancid Visitations. Please stop nuking my own guys, please. Really appreciate it, bud. It's Fury time. My opponent's built up a lot of the throwing axes, which I don't want to have to scrap with too much. Yeah, the Marauders are not doing too hot, but that's really not that big of a deal. Like, what are you gonna do? They can't win every fight. Pinch these nasty little Furies real quick, and we'll get the Soul Grinder and just keep them grinding in here. I'll pull these guys back since they got hit by Armor Sundering. And they're fighting Chaos Warriors, who are fairly heavily armored. We don't want to sit in combat against those guys. We just want to keep moving and hammering the isolated positions here. Let's get in there. And we'll bring up the Brutes of the Hound as my next summon, because we do need to go hang on to that backside objective a little bit. Let's get these Blood Beasts out and just send them over here. My opponent will capture that, but that's okay. Brutes of the Hound are going to come in and start grinding for the middle objective. I don't know why the Hellforged Bellowers stopped shooting. I definitely did not give it an order to stop. The Blood Beasts need to actually keep moving. I don't know why they're chilling here. The poison seems to cause Khorne units to drop orders a lot, which is really frustrating. And this is the power of the Soul Grinder with all the Horsemen, because you can get a lot of really nice tear routes. Even if these guys rally, Fury's very quickly gonna chase them down. We're gonna go over here, we're gonna hammer the Nurglings. Still causing them problems. We can start working on those Chosen again, though. My opponent can throw all he wants. We'll just run over this guy, actually. There's no reason not to engage him here. We should actually position up so that we can just shoot the Chosen to death here. We're gonna get the Brutes of the Hound in there. And yeah, you can see all of the Nurglings are dead. The dudes are doing pretty good damage. We've got the Fury over here that needs to move over here now. We're gonna get a Bloodletter in. You can see Skulltaker just taking apart the cultist. And the Sorcerer Lord is a good combatant, but he's just not that metal. He's a little bit weak. Definitely isn't gonna just be a carry unit. Maybe we just get another Blood Beast, actually. The hit and run has been fairly solid here. We just need to keep the pressure up on the expensive infantry here, and we should be fine. I could have positioned that to hit Skulltaker as well. A little bit off on the timing with it. Blood Beasts have gotten okay value. We're gonna get another one in. They're gonna, I don't need to help there. Just go over here. Just keep hitting these Chosen. Killing more Horsemen. Now we can set up to just continue throwing. Let's go hit this guy in the face. Come on, Blood Beasts. They're doing good damage, but I could stand to see them do a little bit more here. Oh, there's a throwing horseman over here in the corner. Let's go get that guy. Bloodletter for the points. Hammering down the super expensive stuff. These Chosen have done a pretty good job of holding, but Brutes of the Hound have, they've fought them to a standstill pretty decently. Is that corroded armor? Okay, that's fine. Still fighting, still grinding. We got the Furies chasing dudes down. We're gonna go resecure that. My opponent's keeping a lot of units off to the side here. Now that they're moving, we can actually just bully them here a little bit. Hellforged Bellers can move up. Let's go kill this guy. Send the Blood Beast to go get this guy. Bloodletter's gonna go to the middle. We're gonna send this out here. Go charge these guys a little bit. See, the Blood Beasts are nice because they're just a solid unit. They usually don't do anything too stupendously crazy in terms of value. But they do a pretty good job of surviving into the mid to late game scenarios. With a decent enough pool of health that usually they're going to be up around their cost point, and you just win via the efficiency of the unit. Soul Grinder's been a little mediocre this game. He hasn't really had the best targets to fight. That's Rot Knights, which means I need to get the hell out of here. And I need to get my remaining mobility. I need to just completely reposition here. Hellforged Bellers can keep doing what it's doing up here. There's not really anything that can threaten it, to be quite honest. If my opponent engages onto the Soul Grinder, then so be it. Like, I'll commit to it if I have to. And now we're going to wheel around and fight. We're going to get one Blood Beast here, the other is going to come here, and then cut off here, and this one's going to go and cut off there. Coming in from the other side, we've got bodies. We got this Blood Beast just punishing that guy, and the Rot Knights just get folded up like a piece of toilet paper. Amazing business, dude. Oh, yes. I like the idea behind my opponent's build. Oh, look at this. The Hellforged Bellers actually gets taken down by the Sorcerer Lord. I didn't think he was going to be able to do that. I got a Fury, like, out on the edge of the map over here, which means they need to reposition back over.
Lord's greatest warriors! Sent by chaos!
So let's kill the Chaos Warhounds, and then we'll go to this high ground objective. Keep the Blood Beasts and these guys together. Let's just go get the characters. These Blood Beasts are fighting to a standstill right now, but I don't super want that to continue going on. We're going to use Relentless Rage there, just to keep these Furies in combat. They might actually be able to beat the Nurgle Furies in the time that's active. We can just bring out some Furies over here, since my opponent's got throwing axes on the way in. See, the Chaos Sorcerer's starting to take some horrible damage. Blood Beasts are obstructing each other a little bit right now. They do have a pretty good surround on these characters, though.
Greatest warriors!
Just leave this guy here, and we'll move the Horsemen now that there's some Chaos Warriors. Oh, and we'll just keep them with Skull Taker, because their leadership is really bad right now. They are definitely not loving life currently. Can they chase him all the way down? I don't think they're going to be able to fully lock him out. Maybe they will be. The Brutes of the Hound, honestly, not their finest performance. They did a decent enough job, I would say, though. Just gonna have our Furies continue chasing all the Horsemen for the remainder of this game. I think they're gonna actually be able to get this guy off the map. I don't know if he's gonna be able to rally before the edge of it.
Takers of skulls!
Skull Taker comes over here. Oh yeah, it took him off fire at will. That's why they're not shooting right now. That's fine though. Blood Beasts will pull back, and then the throwing axes will come in and start chunking through the Chaos Warriors. Let's chase those guys. And Fury back here. He did rally, so my opponent's going to try and bring him back. Don't see him making it all the way back over, though. We've got the Soul Grinder with pretty good value. Could have done a little bit more maybe, but I would say that that's a respectable enough performance from him. Let's summon this guy. This one's healthy enough. We'll keep it out on the field. It's got 1,500 value, which is great. 1,400 on that one. The Blood Beasts have been pretty great. Love those guys. They get better the more there are. If you've got like 1 or 2 Blood Beasts, then you're wasting your time. Minotaurs are better, pound for pound. In terms of just like raw efficiency on 1 or 2 units, you'd be better off bringing 2 Minotaurs than 2 Blood Beasts. If you're gonna bring 4 of something though, then bring 4 Blood Beasts. You can't bring more than 3 Minos. Can actually run out of Minotaurs sometimes. And that can get a little bit foreboding. Alright, we'll just bring the Hellforge Bellers back in. We've got money to spare, obviously. Not really under any pressure. My opponent's just trying to find a way to get back in this game. It's just probably not gonna happen. Soul Grinder is just scrapping over here. Just do this. So I can maybe hit that guy a little bit more consistently. Got a billion Nurglings on the way back in. We got more Blood Beasts that I can throw up. Cultists summoned out the Plague Bearers, which is fine. They're gonna crumble before they can do much of anything, and we are actually able to get the dub here. Cha-ching. Curious if we're one of the last matches to finish. That was a pretty long game. I felt like we had that pretty secure by probably about 7 minutes in. But my opponent was staying scrappy. They did a pretty good job of keeping value fairly even. No, come on, guys. Y'all gotta get some wins. I need them. I'm 0 op points right now, so tiebreaker's not looking good. We're probably gonna have to win out. I like the soul grinder of Khorne. It wasn't all that great here because my opponent actually had a lot of demon infantry. I liked the soul grinder because it's really good at terror routing, like marauders. Marauder horsemen get terror routed by it pretty consistently. My opponent did really well with the Nurgle horsemen, but that's not super surprising. These Nurgle horsemen are a nightmare. They're so tough to keep shut down. I hate having to play into them. The Khorne Soul Grinder is an artillery piece, so it lowers leadership by 10 with its shotgun. It can maneuver around really well because it's fast. It's got 75 speed, or 70 speed or something like that. It's really quick and can get good rear charges, so it can break leadership incredibly fast. Which for Khorne is indispensable, because Khorne can follow up on terror routes so fast and so viciously. Very few factions can hold up against it. And it's also good bait, because you saw the Rancid Visitations go down on it, which meant Skulltaker was just free to grind for 3,600 value. And if you just need a little extra punching power to keep Skulltaker from getting gooned by like multiple single entities, then you just send the Soul Grinder over and he can bodyguard for him. They're a really good combo, actually. I wouldn't say it's meta by any means, but I've definitely got some matchups where I think it's a combination that can actually pull off some really interesting and dominant wins. That's true. That's true. I know that there's a lot going on. That's why I'm saying that all of the jankiness needs to be ironed out for the next game and system they develop for the series, because you know, this is old. I mean, the first Total War game came out in 2017. It's 8 years ago, guys. It's a long time. It's a whole decade, and this game engine really shows it. It's great, and they've done so much with it, and it looks incredible. It plays pretty damn well. But you can only iron over spaghetti code so many times before it really starts to show its limitations. It's not really a fault of CA. It's just one of those things that's a please do it for the next game. I'm begging you. I just want there to be more and better consistent interactions between aerial units, especially for melee-focused factions. Because 40k will have a lot of melee combat. Mark my words. If they release Total War 40k, you'll have as much melee combat as this game does. You'll have a little bit more ranged combat too, but I think that they're going to find a way to meld them pretty well. Even the past Total War games that didn't have incredible, like, ranged combat, like, mechanics, like Empire and Napoleon, I would say, did have a pretty decent setup for how they were handled. Just like to see it refined a little bit more, but this game gives me a lot of hope for the future. Now that CA is refocusing on actually putting time into Total War instead of making looter shooters, which is what Hyenas was or whatever, they're not wasting $500 million on speculative projects, on outdated game, like, hype trains, then I think we'll be okay. I mean, I still think domination is the perfect way to play now, but there's plenty of room for land battles and conquest in the future. They shouldn't get rid of any of the game modes that we have right now. There's tons of space for people to find what they enjoy the most. Land battles is straightforward, uncomplicated, really easy to jump into with friends. Domination mode, I think, is the premier experience for actually playing in a competitive format without having to, you know, create an ungodly number of rules that make it impossible to get new people into the game, because land battle fruit rules is really cool. It's great, all the work that went into it, but it's it really is kind of a pain in the ass that you've got to do so much adminning to have even basic tournaments on the land battle side of things. Because I've seen how it works, and I've seen some of the shenanigans with people really skirting the edge of the rule sets, and it is, it's not pretty having to watch people get into a huge argument about rule breaks. It immediately sucks all the fun out of adminning events, I know for sure. Okay, wait, what? Oh, okay. So what the hell did I click on? So let's go join our opponent. They're ready here. It's gonna be Adler. Mr. Adler, no less. An anime PFP. So they're gonna be, you know, anime PFP has always given me a little bit of pause, because it's either gonna be like somebody who's super cracked at the game but is really cool and chill, or it's gonna be like the most absolutely toxic, menace to society type of individual you've ever talked to. Adler seems pretty cool though. And that is a generalization. Maybe an overgeneralization, but I've definitely run into people in a lot of other games where the anime PFP is the mark of the beast, honestly. Oh my god, dude. You know, Battlefront 2, I actually started, went on sale, you know, like a few weeks back. The reboot for Star Wars Battlefront. And I jumped in on the hype train because, you know, I'd played the open beta back in the day. I never actually played the game, and it was like $3, so why not? Jumping into that was an eye-opening experience for toxicity in other game settings, because it was bananas how unhinged people were being. It really makes you appreciate this game's community, because it is so much more relaxed and less toxic. It is spectacular. Plus, not that many cheaters, which is huge. That's pretty much been completely handled internally within the community by now. No, not Changer's Madhouse. Changer's Madhouse has been band, and we're playing against the High Elves. Okay, so we're gonna play, we're playing Haunted Vale. For this game, I'm gonna cook in solitude for a moment. Don't worry, I won't forget this time. I will not keep y'all in the dark for the entirety of the game, because yeah, that would suck. I would be pretty peeved myself if that happened. Yeah, this is a good start. Don't actually think we need these guys. Actually, that looks good. Okay. I like it. Get our big meanie heads in here. Cause some havoc, of course. Don't need to play too, you don't need to play too aggressively into the High Elves. You do need to be a little bit cautious, because they can throw a ton of cavalry out at you. Cavalry is really frustrating to play into if you are overly aggressive into it. Alright, word. I think this is a good build. I think this is a good build. Oh, it's got, oh, wow, opponent's already ready. Okay, cool. Let's see what Adler's got. Seems like I've been playing, outside of Nerd War Room, I've been playing fairly new people. What are my tiebreakers looking like? They're still not looking all that good. I did get 2 op points that last round, which is as many as I could possibly attain. Need Grink to get a dub. It'd be really, really nice if Nerd War Room can get a couple more wins here. Oh, they didn't get any wins. Oh no, they didn't get any wins last round. That's just for my opponent this round, actually. Alright, well, tiebreakers are looking a little grim, honestly, which is not ideal, but I think it's going to be okay. Let me flip over. Not forgetting this time, guys. Not forgetting this time. No Asmer, battle reports. So hopefully we can jump out and cap that number 3 really quickly.
Axfather's Marauders! Wolffather's Warriors!
I'll push the Chaos Warrior up in the middle, and I'll leave, actually, I think both Marauders need to go for the number 3 objective, because the Khorngors I'm going to rotate off and try and pull them back into the forest, or, set them up to scrap around the number 2.
Master, behold!
Brought the Hellforge Bellers because you really do need some kind of ranged tool to hammer against, like, mass Lothern Sea Guards and whatnot. Hellforge Bellers is very good at it. Does absurd amounts of damage to fixed infantry positions. So that's kind of what the game plan's going to be against Adler here. Move these guys up first, and then we'll, of course, pull back. Like I was saying, we'll get these guys in group 4, because why not? Furies need to be really well microed against the Elves, because they can do huge chunks of damage to all the squishy units that they have, but they can also get hammered by the shot cavalry, which is a mainstay of all 3 of the Elf factions. So I gotta be a little careful with them. I'll keep them in the control group so I can maybe focus up on the micro a little bit more for those guys. Alright, I guess they're ready. Seems like they are. They said ready. Good luck, have fun. That's the universal sign to me that you're ready here. Let's get forward, do our business. You got Eltharion with... He's got Tempest. Oh, damn it. Okay, well... Valkia just has to stay back for now. She's just not going to get to engage for free for the time being. We'll keep these guys in the woods. We're going to drive right up in the face of these dudes and try and blast them a little bit. And there's 3 spearmen. There's already 3 Silverhelms, or 2 Silverhelms and an Illyrian Reaver on the field. I don't love seeing that. That is a little bit annoying to run into, but I think we're going to be okay. Just pull our Corngors back a little bit, make sure that our Chaos Warriors can get up on this point. Start stealing this stuff away. Helford's Bellers is doing some good damage to some of the skirmish cav. You just want to hammer them down and keep them honest. Don't want to leave them to get too much value on you. We could hit the Silverhelms. Let's do the twist here. Skull Cannons are actually fairly maneuverable, so you can do some fun turning around and making your opponent not be able to do a whole lot of damage to you shenanigans with them. Let's go hit Eltharion in the face real quick and get some bodies up in here. Good retreat there. My opponent's doing a great job of playing cagey. It's going to take a little bit of time to wear out all this heavy armor that I have, and I'm going to keep reinforcing with more and more bodies and whatnot. Let's get Valkia the hell away from here. I was a little overcautious, or aggressive with her. She could have gotten hammered by a Tempest there, but my opponent didn't really get a good one off. Just going to keep dodging with the Skull Cannon. That's the bread and butter on this thing. We need to get set up a little bit better. We're going to hit these Spearmen. We've got 1 Minotaur in. We've got the incoming Chariots, which we're not going to let kill our stuff. We're going to send in the Minos. We're going to get another Minotaur out in a moment. Yeah, my opponent has to completely divert the forces here. Let's hammer these units. Let's get the Corngors up. Let's pull back. So we don't want to too seriously overstretch ourselves. Silverhelms are going to get folded by Knights of the Brazen Throne. Same with these Spearmen. Spearmen are actually dead right now. They just get absolutely smacked up by the Knights, and we're going to get them rolling so they can hit that flank nice and hard. We're going to try and pull back to all of our forces now. Which they should be able to do. They're actually pretty comfortably maneuverable. Get bodies around the back. We've got another Mino in, but they're a little out of position. We'll keep fighting here. We've got Corngors all over the place. Eltharion is trying to land, and that's not really a great spot for him to land. We're going to pop this just to withstand the damage from the Tempest. Let's get these guys in. Just keep fighting. Just keep the keep these dudes active. And let's get some Fleshhounds in now. And look for a couple of engagements out here on the flanks. Let's go get them. Let's rip Eltharion to bits. Let's keep fighting. Keep going. Let's get the Corn Gore in there. Got our Marauder out on the flank doing some good work. Not suffering too much. We've got the Silverhelms here very pinned in. We're gonna get more Flesh Hounds. Just need to get more fleshies and keep going. See what we can do. Buff all our boys up and see what happens. I'm not loving some of this. It could be a little bit better for me. Let's get the Hellforge Bellers the hell out of here. It'd be really nice to have the Corn Gores and the Marauders in here so that we can withstand this fight a little bit better. Alright, we killed all these guys. We have to kill the Fireborn, though.
Skullcrushers.
Slaughter personified.
For the sword, maiden.
Ugh, so frustrating, man. Yeah, Adler's doing great here. This is a great, this is a well-microed, high-elf army. I mean, there's not a lot you can do as Khorne when you're just surrounded by missile units 24/7, right? Yeah, here comes some Rangers, and for some reason, I don't know what's going on, some of our units are not performing up to snuff. Forge Bellers has been a little bit lackluster, I gotta say. It's not done nearly as well as I was hoping it would. All of the Illyrian Reaver archers have been, just hammering me, man. They've been very well used. Maybe here, though, with killing these spearmen is where I can start swinging a little bit of momentum, though. What do I have to bring out? I can bring out a Forsaken, which will be fairly strong. Come on, kill these guys. How are they hanging in here? I've got a terror-causing unit right next to them, and they just don't seem to care. Okay, so we got this going. The Minotaurs are going to chase down the Fireborn out here on the flank. We could send a Fury over to help them out. They're pretty isolated. They really don't have anything to help them currently. So if we keep the intensity up, I think that's going to be the ticket for us. Let's keep these Rangers locked in combat. Let's get the these guys over here. Let's keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, and summon them, summon. Fury to come out and help over there. We're killing some Illyrian Reavers. We're killing some Silverhelms. Continuing to grind. We're going to drop another Sloughnir here because we can. Send the Fury over here. Let's get the Forsaken to keep going. Come on, guys. Please get in here. Need y'all to do what you're supposed to do. Alright, let's try and save Valkia here. Valkia is in a very dangerous position right now, but we do have bodies coming in. I think this could be the decisive engagement of the game here. Yeah, we've got the Fireborn on the back foot, and the Corn Gores are going to sit here and secure that, and we're going to get another Flesh Hound out and go pedal to the metal for the win here. That dangled
One of your units has been destroyed.
What is it? Mistwalker's Barrage, man, just clearing me out. Ugh, so fat, so vile. Alright, we're chewing up the Rangers here, and we do have another, we do have a Sword of Khorne. Messed up for these guys. We're actually going to drop it here.
Valkia the Bloody!
See if we can get Valkia away. Oh, that's so filthy, dude.
Shield Maiden! It is done!
I need a lander. Need to catch Buddy here, and then we can kill him, maybe. That's the big question. Can we actually catch and kill Eltharion? Valkia is still getting hounded by freaking Silverhelms. Just have to keep throwing out answers for those guys. Fleshhound's not coming in time, so we'll get another Mino. That's actually, I think, the late game key here. Let's get Altharian now that we've got him nice and surrounded. I think we should be able to clutch this out with that catch on my opponent's Lord. Valkyria's gonna break. Minotaurs are maybe gonna keep getting away. Seriously? Oh, no shot, dude. Yeah, Valkyria just is not gonna be able to beat Altharian 9 times out of 10. I was expecting a princess, actually. I think I could have beaten a princess build.
The enemy has slain our lord.
Damnation! The heals, bro. The high elf heals, I think, are gonna get me here. The Fleshhounds just can't stick around as well as the high elf mobility can, dude. I mean, there's just so many silver helms, there's so many mobile units. This is just not a good matchup for Khorne. Like it used to be. There was a time where this wasn't a bad matchup for Khorne. But it does seem pretty tough depending on what builds your opponent brings in. If we can snipe Altharian, maybe we win, but I just don't see my opponent allowing me time to do this. Oh no. Oh, is he actually gonna die though? That's the question. Fumbled my poor little Fleshhounds over here. Altharian is on his last legs, though. He is really close to dying. Maybe the, nah, he gets back up in the air, dude. Come on, he's so easy for him to disengage. I just want him to have to stick on the ground for more than a minute so I can finish him off. The Mino Blob, though, is doing pretty damn good. They're kind of bullying the Rangers and the Silver Helms on this point. Maybe if we play the hit and run game, this is where we finish it up. I'm just going to keep bringing in Fleshhounds. I need to get these Fleshhounds away, though. My opponent's disengaging over here, too, so I'm just going to pull back. We're going to pull over. We're actually going to get out the Forsaken, and Fleshhounds and their leadership, bro. Why are you crumbling? Fool. Absolute buffoon. That's so frustrating. Don't you dare crumble out right now. You coward. Absolute baby stuff. Need them to stick in. Fight over this middle objective, I guess. We'll bring out a Marauder, I guess. Like, what do you do here? You just basically bunker up and just, pray that your opponent can't finish you. I mean, he's got, pretty good mobility. I actually think we can maybe, engage the mobility here. See about it. Get these guys going. We'll get another Fleshhound over here to finish off this Silver Helm. Actually have the Illyrian Reavers fighting me, which is awesome because they're gonna get absolutely annihilated here. That's a Spearman. The Forsaken are ITP, so they will hold. And won't hold forever, but they will hold for a decent amount of time. Let's get the Minotaurs away from this. The Mistwalker Barrage deleted the Forsaken. Of course it did. That's great. Hilarious. Great business. Now the Fleshhounds are dead. God damn it, dude. The Mistwalker Barrage is so wild. It does so much damage. Like, come on, dude. Please. I'm begging. Just want to not get folded up by my opponent's units for a change. With shenanigans like this, because it's so strong. I really should have just done Skull Taker, but, you know, that's like the coward's play. You know, you just do Skull Taker 9 times out of 10 anyways. I wanted to do something a little bit different. Let's try and play for the objective win here. My opponent still has to hit and run. I thought I could win over here, and then, more's the fool me for thinking that that was the case. It just isn't. It's never going to work out that way. Let's see if we can charge down the Illyrian Reaver archers if they're a little too careless here. Get a little bit of damage. Maybe we can get this open flank now. The Marauders get attacked.
One of your units has
Do win
been
this
destroyed.
fight, but we don't really have a whole lot over there. The real problem is I didn't get any terror routes from the, Knights of the Brazen Throne, which I needed desperately. If I'd gotten a terror route from them, maybe I'd be able to have won this game. And Eltharion got a couple of very lucky escapes, which have killed me.
Retreating.
Like, nothing I can really do about that, unfortunately. I think we're done.
You have been
It's really well played by him. Did a great job of just not letting me win. Oh, whoops. Chaos Warriors, really lackluster. Khorngors were good. They got decent value. One of them didn't, though. That sucks. Forsaken weren't that good. They got folded up by Eltharion. The Fleshhounds, the second time around, were great, and the Minotaurs were doing all the heavy lifting again, all the time with the Minotaurs, man. I don't want it to be the case that Khorne just doesn't have more than a couple of good units, but it just feels that way nowadays. I want more, I demand more, in fact. Big ouch. Well, I don't think I was going to be making it into the semis anyways. My tiebreakers anyways. Yeah, the barrage ability is crazy now. I think you just go Skull Taker against the High Elves and just play it that way. I mean, the Eltharion into Valkia is just not a good matchup. Valkia does not hold up against Eltharion. It's not her fight. There's other better choices that I could have brought. Having to use Demon Shield on my opponent's spellcasting, it was like nice for, you know, reducing the amount of magic that my opponent could use, but I didn't have any way to really force my opponent to engage with me, which is just the classic Khorne downfall. Is opponent maneuvered and didn't let you fight them fair for the most part, so sorry, you kind of lose, I guess, about it. That's not a very good feeling. And the Knights of the Brazen Throne, it just didn't feel like had enough of an impact. They got a really good initial charge off, and they were doing some good damage, but I didn't get terror routes out of the whole deal. That's the whole point of bringing these guys, is that you get some terror routes going, and then you can, like, crush your opponent by chasing all of it down, and that never developed. I had some good engagements. I had a pretty good scrap with my opponent, but they just had a better lord out on the field. I didn't have enough value from Valkia to make up for it. We'll come back around for a... come back around and maybe get our revenge another time. I'm tired of losing to the High Elves, dude. I'm so exhausted by it. Like, playing that back and forth mobile game for just ages is so exhausting, and you don't have skull cannons anymore for the skirmish cav, because that used to be my answer to skirmish factions. Before the skull cannons had the vortex, their missile actually cleaved through multiple models at once, and they could kill like 5 or 6 skirmish cav with one shot. They actually were amazing into High Elves. And Kislev, Slaanesh they were pretty good into. Pretty much everybody, but now they're only anti-infantry. They don't have missile penetration. If you want to shoot with the Hellforge Bellowers, you can, but it's not the most effective value that it can get. And it is a little weak because of the range. You know, the High Elves have a pretty high range skirmish cav unit with 140. They can keep pace with the Hellforge Bellowers pretty nicely. They don't really have to worry about lacking the ammunition to finish this thing off. Because they've got, what, 20? Oh, they got 18. Which is still way more than Marauder Horsemen, who have, like, 12 to 14 ammunition. And are obviously much shorter range. If I were to replay Adler, I'd just not bring the Knights of the Brazen Throne. I'd forgo that entirely. I might even bring the Soul Grinder instead. Because then I got the Hellforge Bellower. I got the Soul Grinder. And then I think Valkia would be a little bit better off. Because it'd be still really hard to force engagements on her. Can always land her on the ground, I guess. Or I could just do Arbol. Arbol is really decent. Just do Fury of the Blood God and Eye of Corn, and he's like the same price as her anyways. She used to be, you know, 1,700 gold with her two best items, and now that she's a little bit more expensive, I find she's a little bit more of a borderline, do I bring her, do I don't type of unit. I think I don't do Chaos Warriors. They just didn't feel good. They didn't have the chops for the survivability or the cheap availability of Marauders. Just do a Fury in the Flesh Hound in the opener. Domino was great. Could have brought the Blood Beast out. That would have been a good option. Just one more Fury. I don't know about Corngors. Probably just Bloodletters. Bloodletters do seem to be just a great unit in terms of value trading, but I could always do Brutes of the Hound. Then another Corngor. Do something like this. I don't know. It's going to be tricky no matter what I try to use. See who we get in the last turn. Okay, we get Ricochet is going to be on the Dwarves. Kislev versus Khorne feels a bit unfair for Khorne. Kislev is still fairly manageable for Khorne. You can still do a lot of the same stuff that you used to. Hellforge Bellers is still good. The range nerf hurts. It's still a great unit. Just need to support it a little bit more. I'm still trying to figure out the right build for all situations into the High Elves. They've just got so many tools that are immensely frustrating for Khorne to deal with. Because if you prepare for a wide line, then you're not ready for the single entity blob. If you're ready for the single entity blob, you're not ready for the mobile game. With just tons of Illyrian Reaver archers and silver helms. If you prepare for all of the cavalry. Then you're not ready for Lothern Sea Guard lines. There's so many ins and outs to it that it really becomes kind of a back and forth roulette kind of game with the builds. Not as bad as Land Battles and Conquest, but there's definitely some merit to the idea that in certain matchups, depending on what faction you're on, you're just going to struggle if you don't quite have the right build. Alright, let's see what Ricochet's got. We've played fairly recently. And I think it was in this matchup too, so I'm curious to see what the build's gonna be for my opponent. We also got to do our map bans. I don't like any of these maps really for Khorne. Putrefying Carcass is definitely the worst map on this list. Super congested. Lots of bad spots to engage in. See what I can come up with. Tiebreakers are rough, man. Down here with 5 points, like, most of the other 2-win people have 6 or 8. Lots of people with 6. Killen is leading the pack with 8, and then Daniken and Eldeno both have 7 points. Go away for a moment, guys. Oh, that's right. I forgot that I'm supposed to be trying this unit out. Very curious to see how they perform here. Okay, so I'm going to be running something just a little bit different from what I normally bring as my heavy hitter for this matchup. It does depend a little bit on what map we get. Banning Carcass, no rotting bodies for me, please. And thank you. Not a fan at all. We'll limit it to just the one. Now we'll hold off on those guys. We'll get another one of these in the mix. We've got those guys. We'll get these although I don't know about them. Nah, they should be okay. One and 3. I think I'm good there. A little torn on the last couple of units here. You know what? Okay, guys, give me a sec. I'm just flipping one last thing around, and then I'll be ready to kick it off. I'm going to be rocking something that is a little bit outside the typical wheelhouse for what I pick. Just to see how it does, because I am intrigued by the possibilities. Oh, whoops. I'm looking at the wrong maps. Tee, my bad. Anyways. I'm ready. Oh, I forgot that I hosted I'm forgetting that I hosted the damn lobby even. Bleakspire is actually not bad, and Proving Grounds is a pretty good map for Khorne. We're gonna be playing on Bleakspire, in fact. Cool, cool, cool. We'll let it ride here and see what happens. Give me a sec, guys.
Slaughterer! Khorne's will! For chaos! Army of the Dark Gods! Cultist of the Blood God! Marauders of Khorne! Khorne's greatest warriors!
Okay, I'm back, guys.
Lord of Khorne!
Alright, so we got our characters here. I'm gonna throw them up, obviously, up onto the middle point, maybe. We've got a teeny tiny army by Ricochet, so... with an army that's 6 units, I'm guessing is just a big blob of Slayers, which honestly isn't gonna be too scary with the Gorebeast Chariots available here. We're just gonna play the outsides as much as possible. And we're gonna avoid engaging the Dowie on the middle as much as we can, because they're definitely gonna be motoring to one of these 3 objectives and just posting up on it and daring me to come after them. Alright. Double check that we're good here. Okay, we're set.
So be it!
See if we can steal that away. Maybe we can. We'll get these guys up here anyways. Oh, it's a land ship build. Oh, a thunder barge build. Alright, well, whatever. We're just not gonna play around that thing. Longdrongs and Malachi are out on the field. We definitely want more of the chariots, then. Chariots are going to be really good. We need to stay away from engaging these units as much as possible. We need to only use the Gorby's chariots to kind of push those around. So we're going to grab this. We're going to get the Marauder up here. The Blood Beast, we can rotate down. Position all these guys here. We're just going to be patient. We've got the advantage, I would say. I'm actually getting the Hellforged Host out here. Come miners. Let's go get these miners. Do not ever let the Dowie get set up. Not really. Always be aggressive against them. You've got great tools for punishing the dwarves, and you need to take advantage of every single one of them, because they're obnoxiously stalwart. They will 100% grind you down if you're not careful. So my opponent puts the Thunder Barge into Super Turbo mode, and here it comes. We're going to just avoid this. We're going to go after these guys. We're going to get in there. Let's ride down the flanks. Let's pull back, actually, and just kind of play some footsie with my opponents. Just keep these hounds chasing these guys. The Grim Delvers are coming in. We can actually use the hounds to get the Grim Delvers. Not a bad situation for me at all. Just kill these guys. Grim Delvers should die to hounds. They're actually pretty dangerous to those guys. Let's get in here. Let's get a rear charge. Just keep on going. See, the nice thing is that the Hounds of the Blood Hunt are just a really scary, dangerous unit. They do a lot of damage to lightly armored units on the charge. The Grim Delvers actually survived. How the hell did they... Oh, because another miner came out. I would explain it. Let's get off of this. Longdrong Slayers are just grinding here, so let's try and get away from these guys. Let's turn around and charge back in. Wow, dude, the frickin' Norgrimling's Ironbreakers just deleted my frickin' chariots. Chariots didn't do nothing. Chariots suffering, bro. Let's go over here, get these guys. Let's have these, dudes chilling and waiting in the wings. We'll get our other chariot out, which I think will be pretty strong. Just need to be running stuff down as much as possible. Do get a good charge there. Maybe we can just kill Malachi and start grinding down the dwarves here. We've got tools here. We've got tools. We're not in so super trouble right now. Like I said, just keep playing the hit and run game. Kill some of these strong units when we have opportunities to. See what we can do from there. Grim Delvers are retreating. They're in a little bit of danger. We're going to get a Fury in to go hound them a little bit. No pun intended, obviously. Come on, chariots. Get your asses in gear, bro. And can someone please finish off the Norgrimlings? I'm begging. Doomseekers didn't get that much value. They've actually been a little lackluster, I would say. We don't really have a value lead or anything. We do have our lures, and we got a very healthy, Hellforged Host. So maybe they can be something that I can lean on for the late game. We can get around the back line. We can bring in more bloodletters. Do need these guys to get some work done.
Army of the Dark God.
Ruby's chariot running over some people.
Destruction.
Throw the summon down for those rangers, actually. Let's get away here, because the big boy's on the way in. We're a little slow on the micro here. He's really trying to bait me into this with the Grimdelvers. They're really beat up. I think we can still finish these guys and the miners off. Dude, the Thunder Barge, vicious business.
Destroy them.
A little slow on the micro. The micro on me is just not it today, man. I'm a little too slow. Alright, well, those guys crumbled out. Let's get out of here. See if we can get away. I actually think Ricochet's in a really good spot here. The Thunder Barge build might actually end up working out, because he's keeping me off the points, and I'm definitely leaving myself a little vulnerable in areas that I should not be.
One of your units has been destroyed.
I could have been playing a lot better. I'm just not doing it well today. And this thing is going to get like a bazillion value. I think we're cooked. I don't think we can win this one either.
You have been bested.
Oh, damnation, dude. My initial idea was going for Valkia, and she would have been good there because she can obviously chew on the Thunder Barge. And just keeping the Thunder Barge from being able to maneuver around for free is massive, because if you can do that, then you're kind of okay. The first Gorbeast Chariot was terrible, the second wasn't much better, the Hellforged Host didn't do anything. We just got outnumbered. My Chaos Lord did no damage at all. He was useless, just walking around on foot. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, I've got other obligations anyways, so losing out here is what it is. I'm actually going to be ending stream here, guys. You know, sorry. I've just got other stuff that I have to do, so I'll catch y'all around. Till then, take care, folks. GG's.